Hello, good day. Today I'm going to be looking at ASP.NET and the .NET framework in general, because I think it's very good to learn the how the ASP.NET works internally, so that you have a good general idea of what is going on when your page is compiling and how your page works together. So I think I'm going to cover the basics here. So I'm waiting for my Visual Web Develop to finish loading. As you can see, my cursor is still doing the hourglass thing. So right, so yes, this is where we stopped the last time when we were looking at the custom validators and stuff. In order to demonstrate what I'll be talking about, it will be good to add another page. I'm going to be adding another web form, and I'll just leave the default name. I will unselect the stew, and I will choose the C#. I want you to realize that I've chosen the C# here. So when I had the page, let me hide this so I can have more space to work with. ASP.NET page has 3 sections. There are 3 common elements on this page. You can see that we have this one at the top, which is called the directive. This is the page directive. This page directive is used to tell the compiler the information it needs to compile the page. Right now, because the language that is chosen is the C# page, that means the .NET framework will be using a C# compiler to compile this page. There are other as you can see, if I open the page, let me open another page which has a code behind. As you can see that we have more information in the directive depending on what we're doing, because right now, let me quickly explain this. We can see that this is the default 2 page. That is the default 2.aspx. So the code file will be the default 2.aspx.cs. as said, that's what it's telling this page, that if you want to look for the code for this page, because it's a code behind file, which I'm going to explain what that means, you have to look in this folder. Also, there is an inheritance going on. I'm going to be explaining what inheritance mean when I'm doing the C# video tutorial. So this page inherit the default 2. So also we have another attribute in this page directive, which is the auto event wire up. This is got to do with wiring up the page event, which I'm going to be explaining in this video series as well. So as you can see, we have four attributes in this page directives. So that is the first element of the page. The second element of the page is called the code declaration box. Let me go back to where I was. So the code declaration box, this is the code declaration box. As you can see here, we have the script run @ equals to server. This is where the code for the page should be placed. Let me explain to you what that means. So if I had a button, to this page, if I double click on the button, or if I double click on the button to raise the click event, or I told you in earlier videos, if you want to raise the event of a button, you can also go here and just raise the click. Whichever one of them is going to do the same thing. So anyway, as you can see that we're back to the source view. This is the design view, this is the source view, and as you can see, the code for the page has been placed inside these 2 script tags. So any code that you have for your page will be inserted into this script tags. But on the other hand, if you're using a code behind files, you can see that we don't have the script tag here. It doesn't exist because our code is placed behind, it's placed in a special file called the code behind. So please, I want you to understand those two differences. But right here, but this is the default page. If you don't want to use the code behind files, you have the page directives, you have the code declaration block. This is where you declare the codes, and finally you have the page render block. It's called the page render block. So this block, as you can see, it contains your pure HTML. It starts from the HTML and hence with the HTML. So this is your page render block. So what this does is, this is where you design, this is where you drag and drop the controls of a web page. So this is the design view. As you can see, the design view, everything you put in the page render block will be shown to that will be the user interface of your website. So I know some of you might be thinking that there's another section here, which is true. It is the doc type, because ASP.NET pages are compatible with the XHTML 1.0 transitional standard. So that's why, if you know about HTML standards and this transitional stuff, that's why this really doesn't affect the way if you delete it, it's not going to affect the way your pages are executed on the server. So remember, every ASP.NET page has the page directives, which tells the compiler how to deal with your page. I'm going to be explaining more about the page directives. Then the second one is the code declaration blocks. This is where you declare all the code. So any code, any C# code will goes between these two script tags. And the final is the page render block, which shows the user interface of your website. So all the buttons, all the controls that's on ASP.NET goes within this area. But if you use the code behind file like I've used with the default .aspx, you can see that we do not have the script tags here. So we only have the page directives and the page render block, because the code declaration block has been placed in a different file, which is called the code behind files, which I'm going to be explaining in this video series. What else do I want to tell you? Let me show you quickly the default 3 inside the page render block. I've explained before that anything that has the run at equals to server will be that means it will be processed on the server. So that means every control that you placed, this ASP button that you placed here, will be run on the server. So if you don't send it to the server, nothing happens. ASP.NET is a dynamic application, so if the page is not sent, if you delete this part of the button now, if you delete this run equals to server of the button and you send the page across to the server, the button will not be processed, because everything must be executed on the server. So the browser will ignore it. But I think you see the tooltip, as soon as I delete the run at equals to server, the tooltip is telling me that ASP element button is missing a required attribute, run at, because it's a very special attribute that must always be present. So I'm going to be explaining more about all these attributes in this video series. Thank you.